Hi, I'm Katie Glennon from Katie's Homeschool Cottage. I've been publishing with Currclick for 6 years now, and I'm excited to announce that I'm going to be starting a new literary adventure novel series, as well as some writing workshops. I couldn't be at the open house because I'm out camping with my family in the North Carolina mountains right now, but I did want to share with you my excitement in introducing this new series. Just to give you an idea about who I am a professional educator and homeschool mom, and I have been for 28 years. I have one son in college and another finishing up high school. And here's my husband of 27 years. We started out teaching together. He was on one end of the building teaching science, and I was on the other end teaching English. I do have a bachelor's degree in secondary education and English, and I've taught language arts K through 12. Here is our other member of our family, Sadie. She's our 10-year-old black lab, and she's helping us celebrate New Year's Eve. I do love the use of words and how they portray the story and also the characters and getting to know them. So I wanted to share that in these novel studies. To give you an idea of my philosophy and my teaching style, I don't think that learning how to understand and appreciate what makes good literature or writing an effective paper needs to be difficult or boring. I think that we can have fun doing it and we can understand it along the way. We have a lot of class discussion and activities, and we're using higher order thinking skills without even really knowing it as we have these discussions to understand the plot and the elements that help move the plot forward in a story. We learn to appreciate what the writer is doing in order to help that story move along and develop. We conduct character analysis, but again, we don't know that that's what we're actually doing because we have fun looking at the characters' actions and their speech and their motives and what is making them do that, or what are they thinking, or what are they feeling, and we kind of get into their minds. And that can be very interesting, especially when you're doing that with animals, such as an animal farm. We look at different points of view and the character's point of view, and also our point of view as the reader. And sometimes we kind of twist things around a little bit, and we might look at let's say, the big bad wolf's point of view, for instance. Now that we've already heard about the Three Little Pigs story, now we can hear the big bad wolf's side of the story. We look at the literary devices and the imagery that the authors use throughout the book, and we learn about what these are. And then we have some activities that we have some fun with creating our own, and then we review those things to make sure that we've learned them effectively by playing games like Jeopardy. So we do have a lot of fun, and we're constantly doing something. The new series starts off with, in September, the Middle School Literary Adventure Series, Island of the Blue Dolphins. It's six weeks long, and it's an exciting story of survival on an island by our main character, Karana. And we're going to be specifically looking at the literary techniques that the author's using to let us get to know her and also her adventures, because she is on that island most of the time by herself, so we have to not rely necessarily on dialogue between characters, but the author's description. The High School Literary Adventure series starts off with Animal Farm, also 6 weeks long, and this is an allegory reflecting the history during the Russian Revolution and the Bolshevik Revolution. And we look at the events of that historical event and all the characters involved in that history told from the standpoint of animals. And there used to be a byline to the title Animal Farm called Animal Farm, A Children's Tale, but they've removed that part from the title. But George Orwell felt it was important that it be told in more of a children's fairy tale format. So we're going to delve into why he felt it was necessary. Our writing workshops start off with the ACT/SAT 2015 format of the essay test prep. And we'll be looking at the details of what we're going to discuss in those classes in a moment. To look specifically at the types of things that we'll be looking at in the different novels, we do examine the author's writing techniques for effective descriptions and movement of the plot. We will examine the characters' choices and motives in their actions and speech, as I said. We'll also look at those literary devices and the imagery, and we'll discuss why they're so effective. We'll be having small group brainstorming sessions, especially in the Island of the Blue Dolphins, where the kids can use their creativity and have innovation in figuring out what can they use on the island to maybe survive certain situations that our main character finds herself in. So that's always fun to brainstorm. In Animal Farm, the high schoolers always have fun analyzing the use of propaganda and the use of words for the purpose of manipulation and to further one's cause. And in Animal Farm, we have that in abundance. So we always have some really stimulating conversation about that. And it's very interesting to examine how clever use of words can really twist around the meanings of words if we look closely enough. As the stories progress, as we read them, we'll be plotting the different events on a plot map, and we'll be working toward the climax and a resolution. So we'll be looking at all the different elements that come together to create a good story. And we'll also be looking at different conflicts that occur during the story as well. On the sixth day, the sixth class, there will be an optional project presentation time, so that any of those students who wish to participate in any number of choices of project presentations, they can share their talents with us. And it's always fun to see what other students come up with. So I'm anxious to see what you all might be able to come up with in regards to topics with the book. There is an optional add-on class that is available as a 7th class that can be purchased, where in middle school we'll be writing a proper paragraph about a topic concerning the book. In high school, we'll be writing a 5-paragraph paper concerning a topic with the book. And this would be something that the children would go ahead and submit. I would go ahead and give them some feedback with some editing and a grade. So that is an option if you're interested in adding on a writing element. The ACT-SAT essay prep is 3 weeks long. We'll be looking at the differences and similarities between the tests, proper organization of a persuasive paper for this test, effective techniques in responding to the test prompts, and using quotes, statistics, facts, and anecdotes to support your argument. These are very important in the writing this type of test, because that's specifically what the evaluators are going to be looking for. So we are going to look at what they're looking for when scoring the test, and also the rubric. And then once we understand that, we'll be having fun evaluating sample essays from the past. And we'll compare the scores we give those tests to the scores that the evaluators have given them. And it's really surprising, because a lot of times we tend to be a lot harder in our grading than even the evaluators. We'll be brainstorming arguments and supporting points for the various prompts so that we get our creative juices flowing. And at the end of 3 weeks, the students will be taking a timed test to submit to me and I'll give them feedback of what they're doing great, what they need to work on, and a sample score based on the testing rubric that evaluators would use. We have some new novel studies coming up in October and November, leading up to the holidays. The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. We will have fun discussing this novel with the characters and the hilarious events that they find themselves in, and we'll be doing an assortment of different activities in class to enjoy that book. A Christmas Carol will be the high school novel study, and if the 8th graders can read the unabridged novel, they're welcome to join us. We'll be looking at Charles Dickens' message about this novel, as well as the significance of the time and setting of the story, because he did grow up during that time period, and he has a message to tell us about some societal views at that time. And we'll have fun looking at Dickens' techniques in creating vivid scenes and moods. Introduction to the 5-paragraph essay is a writing workshop where the kids are going to be writing from beginning to end, an effective introductory paragraph, 3 supporting detail paragraphs, and a strong concluding paragraph. In the college application essay, we're going to be looking at what are the admissions officers looking for, and how do you present yourself on paper in a unique way where the representatives are going to know who you are and they're going to remember your paper. In both of these, we'll also look at transitions, we'll look at varying sentence structure, and using different sentence openers. So we'll be finessing our writing skills with both of those. I am going to be having a free class to introduce this new series on Tuesday, August 11th at 11 a.m. Central Time. If you go to Currclick, you go to Katie's Homeschool Cottage and select My Live Classes button. You'll see my free class listed there where you can register for that. And we'll be having a fun class where we'll be looking at an example of a lesson of literary devices, and then we're going to play a game to review what we've learned. So that'll give you an idea of what my class format is like. And it'll give us some more time to better get to know one another. You'll also find all the classes I have listed for the fall semester there. So I really do hope that you join me. If you have any questions about any of the classes that I've talked about in this recording, please email me at katieshomeschoolcottage@yahoo.com. That's also available on my page at currclick.com. You can contact me through that as well. So I hope that you come by and join me for either any of these classes or try out the free class to get to know me and my teaching style a little bit better. And I really do hope that you join me on our literary adventure series this fall. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Thanks for joining me.